Hey guys, here's Louis, and on this episode on First Generation Garage, I am going to show you how to transfer your original cocktail shakers from the rear on a convertible car, 68 Firebird. I'm referring to this plate right here. This is your cocktail convertible shakers, okay? And this is the bracket. So she's in between the rear frame rail and the trunk floor, okay? In other words, she's sandwiched together. The middle finger here being the cocktail shaker bracket, and this will be the rear frame rail, and that's the floor, okay? So this one being a 68 Firebird convertible that I am building for my wife, and I named her the Lovebird here because she's for my love. I need to put those plates right here, all right, the brackets. So I'm going to take off the measurements of the original floor and, to the best of my abilities, install them here. Let's get this straightened out, okay? Just for the record, I've been saying it over and over and over again. My brother Jonathan at Vinyl Village Garage, okay? He have built more cars than me of these first gen F-body birds, okay? And we both agree, and a lot of us agree, those measurements are not equal to every car. It just gives you a rough ballpark figure for you to be able to go ahead with your project and build your car, okay? And this being a convertible, I need to do that. So that's next on this project. I already have a video how to do the convertible brace on the front of the floor. There is going to be one more bracket installed here once the floor is back in the car. And I also have to do the dry shaft bump stop over here that they do not reproduce. Let me show you on the original floor of the car. This little item right here is not reproduced, so I need to take that off and transfer it to the floor. Let me get to the measurements of the cocktail shaker rear brackets, and I'll bring you guys back. All right, guys, so what I did was I took my measuring tape all the way in until she stops on the shackle on this edge on the inside, and I have a measurement there of 8 inches and a quarter at the very end of this plate here, okay? And also, I'm not going to measure from this flange to this flange. What I did was I drew a line where she's resting on the original flange on the rear frame rails. Here could be different from the aftermarket, but the aftermarket from here to here are pretty much the same to the original. So with my measuring tape there at the end here, okay, I came up with a measurement of 6 7/8. 6 7/8, and that's from the inner of the rear frame rail to the very edge of this bracket, okay? 6 7/8 is where I have to be at, okay? And over here is 8 1/4. Thus, and I'm also measuring from the end of the rear frame rail up to the end of the convertible bracket, and I'm at 12. Oh. Well, my camera took a nice dive on me there. Over here from this edge to this edge, I already did. No, I did from this edge to this edge. Sorry, I'm doing from the rear frame rail over here where she ends. Okay, all the way. Let me just set this camera. Sorry. To here. And if you notice, the rear frame rail has a straight and then she curves this way. So she goes on straight and she curves out this way. I saw the rear frame rail aftermarket, she does the same thing. And I have right there where she does curve, and I'm at 12.25 inches. Okay, so from this line right here, okay, this little point here, draw my arrows, and then from the end of the rear frame rails, 12.25 inches. Let me show you guys. So from right here where she turns in, it's a little metal that she goes straight, and boom, she starts turning in. From there to the end of the rear frame rails, 12.25 inches. Okay, 12.25. Now it's time to measure. Take this out. I see the spot welds here. I'm gonna drill them out to remove this plate. That's going to be next. And after that, we'll move these measurements inside the garage. All right, guys, here we go. So right hand side, that's the passenger side. I remove the cocktail bracket from the original floor. I snuck it in here because I did not do no welding to this flange here of the rear frame rail. Okay, all my welding has been done from this point on, nothing from here back. But here we go. So I did exactly how I took off the measurements from the original floor. And let me tell you something, for this floor to be aftermarket, the rear frame rails to be aftermarket, I was able to do it exactly like that and nothing changed. Matter of fact, I put 2 points on the marker with the measuring tape was lying down on the original floor, and it's spot on. Okay, she's right there. So I did get 8.25 inch, and that's all the way from the end of the bracket. And I'm sneaking the tape measure in through here and resting it here at the end of where the bushing goes for the shackle of the leaf spring. Okay, and then from here I am measuring from inside the frame rail to the point, which is right here, to this very edge of the bracket. Okay, and I got exactly 6 7/8. Okay, I took a straight edge from the top of the tape to the bottom of the bracket if I could make sure I'm there, and I got exactly 6 7/8. And I also was spot on the line with the gray marker that I did, and everything happened to measure good. So I will not be moving this bracket. I'm going to leave it right here because she's going to get plug weld now. My plug welds got to go through 3 different layers of metal, which is the rear frame rail, cocktail shaker bracket, and the trunk floor. There goes your 3 layers. So you have to make sure that your weld penetrate all the way through 3 layers. I am going to do the driver's side now and just take the same measurements that you got from here, just like this. I mean, the same steps you took from the right hand side that I took from the right hand side, and I'm going to do the same steps over there. I'll bring you guys right back. Okay, so now I am moving to the left hand side cocktail bracket here, cocktail shaker bracket, left hand side. And I did the same thing I did to the right hand side. From this point of the rear frame rail to the end of the cocktail shaker bracket, 12 inches and a quarter. Putting in my measuring tape, letting it rest on this edge here. I got 8 inches and 1/8, and I'm right here to right there. So let me show you guys. Like this, okay, all the way to there. And from the inside of the rear frame rail to this point where you see the marker at, I got 7 inches and 3/8. Time to drill these spot welds and transfer this plate to the new floor. Okay guys, so here I have the left hand side rear cocktail bracket. Once again, this is only for convertibles, not coupe. And here it changed a little more. The right hand side fit more to the original measurements, but like I said many times again, all these things are going to change. A little something will not get you far away. If it's a big something, like way out of whack, I would say anything like a half or bigger, I really do believe you will run into problems. But if it's like an 1/8 difference, not a big deal at all. So originally I have this from this point to here where I measure from the original floor, and it happens to be 12 and a quarter, and it's exactly 12 and a quarter where I stopped here. Okay, then from inside here with the measuring tape like I showed before to here on the original floor, I got the 8 and 1/8, and here I got 8 inches. So I lost an 1/8. It's not going to be a big deal. And here originally from inside the frame rail, okay, the inside all the way, and measure with a straight edge with your tape measure to this point right here on the original floor, I got 7 3/8, and here I got 7 and a quarter. Not a big difference. Okay, I do believe a 100% it'll still work. The funny thing is that where I measure this, all these curves and stuff that this bracket have matches exactly like the floor there. It matches on that side. So I'm really confident. Now what I'm going to do is drill out where my spot welds and where my plug welds will go. I also have to get this hole here. This is a nut. At the hole of the nut, I have to shoot down perfectly in the center and drill out a hole. And from the underside, I will have to get a spot cutter and drill out the hole a little bigger, because it needs to have an axis for a bolt for the future. I can't wait for that time to come. I will have to do the same with this one. These holes do not get cut out, okay, but this one do. The nuts, both of them. I'm going to drill everything out first, because like that I don't lose my spot where I have the bracket doesn't move. All right, and I want to put some paint underneath these. And one more thing, this is your dry shaft bracket that you guys need to cut off your original floor if you still have it. And I need to massage this and get her down there, because this is the next thing that's going to be welded on the floor. Well guys, here bites another project, getting it done little by little. After I finish welding the rear cocktail shaker brackets to the floor, my next thing will be is to cover this cutout that I did to the rear frame rail. If I could put the rear the inner tail panel, but I'm going to install the floor first. I could do this while it's on the car. It's not a big deal. Once I finish cleaning these brackets up, both of them, and paint it, and also that dry shaft bump stop, I'm going to clean up all my welds after I finish welding, and put some paint there, because it's easier to paint that section like this than on your back. I ain't gonna paint the complete floor, and I'll tell you why. Because when I weld the floor to the inner rockers, because the welding is so hot, it's going to burn off the paint on that edge. So I'm going to do the convertible bracing and these bracings here, but not the complete floor. The complete floor I'll do on my back like I've been doing for all these years until I get a lift one day. But guys, here it goes. The more time that you could spend on your project, I know it's hard. For me, it's hard. An hour or two a day will get you far, like I always say in my video. Thank you for the support, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and give me a comment too. Here's Louis. Take care and keep those hands dirty. Bye-bye now.